Public apology to Julian Powell, the author of 1 or 2, depending on how you look at it, 360 Google Street View / Google Sphere images on top of the Monon High Bridge in 2017. And I'll get to why in a minute it's an apology, but let's move on. Google Photos and every other variation of it with different names like Picasso were in flux. They instituted AutoAwesome. This had 2 effects. One, it would bitch and complain constantly about you using too much bandwidth or storage space. And 2, it would do it because AutoAwesome was enabled, which would cause it to create multiple versions of the same image, including very low resolution versions that it would present first, and then try to protect your data from theft. Here's all these features we've given you. Why are you bitching? And if you turned it off, it would put up the full resolution version along, but not the other ones, and then still say, well, you're wasting bandwidth here. This is slow. Because apparently everybody's on a 56K modem. In the process of doing this, it would kill the metadata, compress the files to shit, and save them in other file types as a feature that no one asked for when we want them to do one thing: stop preventing me from getting access to my full resolution images. This was also during people still hurting from PhotoBucket hijacking our entire photo album set and putting watermarks on everything instead of letting us download it. And then when they found out people were leaving in mass, as they would, they made it to where you couldn't download anything all at once. You had to download it one photo at a time. Also, see also Google force-fucking Google Plus at the time, and many other aggravations. Hiding settings, making it to where we didn't know the answers to what was happening, and watching our images getting screwed. At the time, you could go to Google Street View, or just look for Google Spheres, or Google Photos. They were 3 different things. And it would tell you who contributed to it. And you could go to the contributions page, and it would have photos people took in the area, and the 360 views themselves. And sometimes it would show the 360 view as the original flat image that was bent into a sphere. Also at the time, some of us figured out we could institute a utility on our computer that would make it to where when we right-clicked anything on the map, instead of it bringing up the context-sensitive menu, it would stop hijacking our mouse, and we could say, right-click, copy image address, and then archive the 360 images while we were inside of the spheres. I distinctly remember doing that. In fact, you can still do it, I think. I'll do a video on that. So, in 2017, on a website called Local Guides Connect, a question came up from Julian Powell. Does removing a photo from Google Photos also remove the photo from Google Maps? And I've done a video about this, which he replied under. I asked it because I was cleaning up my Google Photo storage because it was getting full. Could have been AutoAwesome causing it, or AutoAwesome trying not to cause it. I didn't want my contributions to Google Maps to be removed. Thanks, Google. For all I know, the image would have had the metadata still in it. Most likely no. The image would have been in full resolution, completely unmolested. I doubt it. They might have caused it to overload by saying, we're helping by reducing the file size. Here's 60 copies that you don't want. Oh, that was an accident. It's not a bug, it's a feature. Give us money. They were demanding money for bandwidth. And I asked him if he could get the original 360 files in some way. He also said the original files were saved to a memory card inside of a Samsung Gear 360 he had loaned to him by Google. There was a plan for doing that. I tried to join it. I know exactly what he's talking about. And yeah, that was the one I would have picked too. But he had to return it because that was the idea. So all he had was that image on Google Images or Google Photos and the 360 view. Here's the funny part. Even if he deleted it from his photos, as long as he allowed it to stay in the map, which we don't know what he did at this point. I'm going to get to that in a minute. I could, if it wasn't torn down by Google or hidden away only for people who won't use their personal browser. They want you to use Google Chrome. And they want you to sign in all the time and okay advertising and not install anything to shut them up and get them out of your face so you can get your job done that day. But anyway, if we could still get at it, I could disable the right-click hijack and go ahead and grab the image piece by piece and put it back together again, and it would be virtually the same thing. In fact, if I sat there for the 1 minute and 40 seconds, that's what it was timed at when I first saw this, it'll put up suddenly the full resolution version. You can't move anything, but you can right-click the image if you've already disabled the mouse click hijack and grab the data. Julian Powell can't repost the original 360 files for the monon iBridge, which could be used if you looked to each side of it to make a 3D image, or take the images and overlay them to get rid of the noise and bring up nearly a HD HDR image. The opportunity is lost because Google Maps is either unnavigably fucked now, or they require I use a browser where I won't be able to do this anyway. So we're at the 6-minute mark, and that's the basic explanation. Now, why did I do an apology at the beginning? Web sleuths that wouldn't archive a damn thing unless it proves whatever their preconceived notion is about reptilian Hillary Clinton blood drinker, or whatever the fuck they're on that week. True crime community that's named after a genre of fiction that's based on true stories but fictionalized accounts. Dime novels, yellow journalism, sensationalism. For 5 fucking years until April 9th, 2022, no one on 4chan archived the supposedly damning evidence that Julian Powell is trying to erase the photos. I have a video up where I said, either in typing it up explicitly or saying it verbally, utterance, I might have said that Julian Powell may be just somebody coming along capitalizing on this. I can't tell. Obviously, I'm going to go through all my videos and try to locate every instance of that and black it out and say I'm sorry if I did it. I'm not even sure. Back when these images first showed up, all I said is, thank God someone went to the bridge and took a damn image. Because everybody's deleting shit. And I better back this up. And I really did sit there and figure out how to right-click the images and save them or archive them that day. But I don't have the archive list because it ended up being hundreds of attempts. It took me... I was on a Wi-Fi at a coffee shop because that was the best connection I could find in Portland, truly. Backbone grade. I did the archiving as best I could. Then the archival website, Archive Today, said, you look like a bot. You're going to take a 1-hour timeout. Thanks for making it take an unnecessarily long period of time to do something. And thank you, YouTube and Google, for fucking over the bandwidth with ads. And thank you, Google, for somehow copy protecting something that needs to be archived. When I tried to find the source of it, it would tell me who the contributor was. The contributor page was visible. At the time, yes, if you look up the archive on Archive Today specifically, and archive.org in some cases, I'm the one who archived it. No one else did. So I got 4chan assholes demonizing the guy, trying to prove he's trying to delete evidence. I didn't assume that was true because anytime 4chan flat earth types who want to prove a UFO is real by going ahead and faking it because they just know they're all real, anytime these assholes make an assertion, the opposite is almost always true. Every accusation is a confession on their part of what they're really about. We're about disclosure, but you hide the evidence whenever you see a UFO video and put it up on YouTube. They cut off the part of the screen grab that told me what page it was. I dug it up. Google still has an archive of it in the form of a Google cache. That's the archive I made because it still included Julian Powell as one word, which was traceable. It took a shit ton of work, but yeah, it traces back to his YouTube channel. At the time when he did this, there was a Google Plus page, I don't even know if it was his, that linked back to that and also gave me a clue that it was definitely him. I archive all of this. That looks really creepy, but it's how we confirm, is this or is this not the same account? We don't care who the person is. He could have put up Mr. Hamster as his channel name. It doesn't matter. I need to know if it's consistent. And it was. And it is. And it is the person who contacted me here. Yeah, he had on a perfectly acceptable answer. The camera he used had a memory card with it. He returned it to the people he borrowed it from. Google. No, it's not a Google conspiracy. It's not him trying to erase things. Oh, that's a likely story. No, that's literally part of the page that was up. I think I even archived it. I tried to do the same thing. I was going to do 360 views because as a homeless person, I figured I should contribute to society a little, and I'm up in the hills and there weren't any images. So I was going to go along and 360 scan it. I even started the project in Portland to do this because we could add the photos to Google Maps. And we were going to do 6-shot 360s. 360s with a 6 uppercased, which you can't do with numbers. I was part of the project in Portland to do that. We're going to go along the trails, and every 6 feet, we would do 6 images in each direction, 4 back, right and left, and then 45-degree angles to make a 360 view. It wouldn't be full sphere, but it would work. And then go forward another 6 feet on our bikes or walking, and just keep doing this. We were going to go up as a group. I was involved in this project. Then we found out about this thing. Oh, we can just go through a 360 camera, do a video, and it'll store it. And then I found out the requirements were too stiff. This guy made the effort I wasn't able to do. I had plenty of free time. Why not waste it on something that contributes to the world a little? Then the fact that I got tired of not being able to find out where the trails went. So between him having to return the camera, it was part of the contract. Google Photos Auto Awesome, for all I know, did this. And him running out of space, probably because of Google deliberately fucking it because they wanted to get money. We've lost this data. But I did make an archive of that shit. It is stored somewhere. I had a video explaining how to do it. It's gone. Can't find it. Why? Google, YouTube, Alphabet, Boopy. You guys erased the channel I had because you feel that I've insulted the memory of who knows who. Adolf Hitler, for instance. Yes, that was a real reason given at one point. He was trying to deal with something probably Google caused, running out of room, and wanted to delete the unnecessary image because he did not want to delete it from Maps. He might have even done that as a response, but again, there's no archive of it. When he was asking the questions on localguidesconnect.com or whatever the website is. And 4chan went out of their way not to archive it because it would have gotten, oh, well, if we do that, it'll get all the responses and I can't make up my fake story on 4chan. So they did a screen grab, didn't tell anybody where it was, and it never got archived because web sleuths and true crime, again, it's a fiction variety based on true events where you sensationalize stuff for dramatic purposes. That's not research. I'm yelling at the 4chaners here, but I'm also yelling at myself and everybody else. Apparently this guy's been interviewed. I listened to one of the interviews. They refused to get to the point, the person who edited this interview, for all I know. And it made it sound like he was kind of lost. Or maybe he was exploiting it. I might have even said that in a video. He wasn't. I don't believe that. And if I said something like that, I'm fucking sorry. And I can do the excuse I was misled by the cabal of stupidity out there, but that's not really a good excuse, but that's what I got. So we don't have to guess, maybe a complete explanation of what you have contributed, and maybe in the form of a video post, if you're willing to do it, I'm suggesting to the guy. I typed it up wrong, but here's his response. As far as what I have to contribute, the answer is nothing beyond what I've already tried to contribute. The 2 photos, the 2 images. I tried to be helpful and my life is ruined. He's being brigaded, harassed, and witch hunted. And inadvertently, maybe even a little bit, or depending on your opinion, a lot, by me. Say it with me. On the Delphi case, I've never seen anybody accused of being a murderer who wasn't. Go ahead and say it. I dare you. If you're religious, I want you to say it out of the Bible. I want you to burn in hell when you lie about that. We've all seen that. Somebody using the background of a video taken on a bus where there was a fist fight gets chased by assholes on Reddit because they're reasonably attractive males or females, or just somebody sat there and seemed unusual and interesting to them at the time and eventually gets stalked. I'm a victim of this shit. So is this guy. So, I'm going to ask him again. Can you type up slowly, without stressing yourself, what happened, what you know, and answer all the questions everybody's made, and post it once under a posting on your YouTube channel under the community tab, and archive it. I'll do a video on how to do this, along with the images on the maps if I can. Maybe that will help. Maybe it'll make it worse. I don't know. I feel for you. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. And I'm sorry.